Spox, and this is the 27th edition of Sema Spox, and we are coming live from the Lake Naivasha Resort, the Superior Hotel here. We have the National Education Conference that has been graced by none other than His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. But before we come to know who is our guest and what we are discussing today, let's see what we have today from the government. Speaking at the ongoing Second National Education Conference, President William Ruto shared on how Kenya is reshaping its education system quietly. Funding has risen to Kenya shillings from 500 billion to, in 2022, to Kenya shillings 767 billion, that is projected, for the next financial year. And over 99% of grade 9 learners have been transitioned, with 23,000 classrooms and 1,600 laboratories built nationwide. In Nairobi, informal settlements, 1,000 classrooms added STEM enrollment, and it rose to 52%, and TVET grew from 300,000 to 800,000. Again, President William Ruto presided over the swearing-in of Judge Mohammed Abdullahi Warsame as the 14th judge of the Supreme Court, and also conferment of a very long-standing, advocate Evans Thika Gaturu and Jedida Rakonyo with senior counsel status at State House Nairobi. The president wished them success in advancing justice. There is no administration that has done as much in terms of transitioning Kenya to get access to justice than this one. As you know very well, recently, the president also witnessed the swearing in of 37 new judges, and more is yet to come. The Kenya Plant Health Inspection Service, KEFIS, has established the Root Tuber Banana East Africa Germs Plants Exchange Laboratory, RTB-EAGEL, of the plant quarantine and biosecurity station to strengthen safe geoplasm exchange and improve plant health system and build regional capacity in ensuring that we have proper vegetation crop across East Africa. The initiative marks a step forward in operationalizing the facility and reinforcing KEFIS as a regional center of excellence in this regard to ensure that there is proper health for plants and diagnostics and exchange. Further, the Kenya National Examination Council has introduced a digital system for instant KCSE certificate verification, replacing the manual process that took up to 10 days. The system uses QR codes and blockchain technology to confirm authenticity and curb forgery, aiming at improving efficiency and strengthening trust in Kenyan examination certificates. The Kenya Railway Corporation, KRC, has cautioned photographers, videographers, and the members of the public against using railway tracks for photo shoots, warning that the areas are restricted. Watu wanapenda kupiga mapicha sana. This is very dangerous, and really it is illegal to access without authorization, where people are coming very close. Due to unpredictable train movements, content creators are urged to prioritize safety by keeping off all rail infrastructure to avoid endangering themselves and their crews and clients by observing safety regulations around railway property. This is just a brief of what is happening in government today, but now we are live here from Naivasha, and we have our guest for this 27th edition, and this is none other than the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Education, State Department for Basic Education, Ambassador Professor Julius Bitok. Makofi kwake. How are you, PS?
I'm very fine.
Uko salama?
Spox.
Yes.
Niko poa?
Karibu.
Yes, thank
karibu
you.
Sana.
Thank you.
Hata wewe unafaa kuwa unatuambia karibu.
Yes, karibu.
Wewe ndio mwenye hii maneno. And we are here at just next to the lake here. The lake is just behind us here. Mandhari nzuri sana.
Sure.
Mlituchagulia mahali pazuri sana kuja kujienjoy na kusikiza pila kile serikali imefanya. And really, I was very happy by the way the president was with us today. But now, before we come to any other thing, who is Ambassador Julius Bitok? How did you grow up, your education? Let people get to know a little bit of you.
Well, thank you very much, Spox Maura, for this opportunity to talk to the nation, to talk to fellow Kenyans about who I am. I think all my information is in the internet, in social media. But I want to begin by saying my name again is Ambassador Professor Julius Bito.
So where did you grow up? Which primary school did you go to?
I went to a school called Kaptuktuk.
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 Kaptuktuk. Kwa hivyo umetoka village kule.
Village.
And today you are a professor.
Kaptuktuk means a boda boda.
Are you serious? Yani ulienda kwa shule inaitwa boda boda?
Yes.
Wow, where is it?
It is in a place called Moiben.
Okay.
In Uasin Gishu County.
Kule kwa Phyllis Barto.
Kwa Phyllis Barto. Alafu nikaenda shule secondary. Nilianza shule inaitwa Innocence.
Oh, okay.
High school.
Huko ni dry spam huko?
Yeah, huko Ban Forest. Ban
okay.
Forest.
Okay.
Kidogo nikaenda Chebisas. Nikasoma Chebisas form 3, form 4.
Okay.
Baada hiyo nikafanya vizuri, nikapata C+. Alafu nikaenda college. Kenya Science.
Okay. Iya University of Nairobi sasa.
Iya University of Nairobi sasa.
Okay, ulifanya education.
Yeah, nilifanya education.
Oh,
mimi ni mwalimu.
Wewe ni mwalimu?
Mimi ni mwalimu.
Ah, very nice. Hiyo ni kitu nzuri sana.
I'm a teacher by training. Yes. Baadaye nikakuja nikaenda Moi University. Kuendelesha masomo. Nikaenda University of Nairobi tena kusoma degree ya pili. Nikarudi Oklahoma State University kwa America. Okay. Kufanya PhD. Okay. Baadaye nikakuwa associate professor. Okay. Wa Jomo Kenyatta University. So your subjects zako za education zilikuwa gani? Nilianza na hesabu. Maths and physics. And plus physics. Lakini hapa mbele nikakata kona. Nikaenda social sciences. Nikafanya finance. Master. Nikasema nikitaka kupata pesa mingi lazima nisomee pesa. And it has worked for me. Sababu nilisema nikiendelea in maths physics, pesa sitaiona. Okay. Nikasema sasa nilisomea pesa, masters pesa, PhD pesa, nikafunza pesa, nikaanza kupata pesa. Sasa vile accounting officer mtu wa pesa. So how long did you teach at JKUAT? I taught as a lecturer for 7 years in Moi University. Moi University. Later on, I came to Jomo Kenyatta Cooperative for 2 years. Yes, it was under Jomo Kenyatta that time. Okay. For 2 years.
That's when you became an associate professor.
Yes. Okay. Then kidogo rais akanipatia kazi nikakuwa ambassador huko Pakistan. Oh, Pakistan. Miaka 7.
Wow.
7 years.
It seems you have something with number 7 because leo the 27th show.
Yes.
Na leo ni tarehe 7.
Hii ni tarehe 7.
Na alafu miaka 7 ile. Yes. The number of completion.
Na agenda yangu ni 7 pia.
Allah. Makofi hapa jiji hivyo. Simpigie FPS makofi hapa kidogo.
Hii
point unapiga makofi kidogo hapa.
It's very prophetic.
Yeah, it is.
Nilipokuwa nasoma primary, nilikuwa number 7 every time.
Allah.
Hata secondary nilikuwa number 7 every time.
Wow.
Yes. Hata nikaenda huko miaka 7. Nilifunza university miaka 7. Na hii 7 iko na maneno.
Iko na hiyo tutaongea nyuma ya tent hapa.
Nyuma ya tent.
Unajua nakuwa nikiambia watu
na si ati hiyo inapangwa. Nilienda Pakistan tarehe 17 mwezi wa pili. Na nikatoka tarehe 16 mwezi wa pili. After 7 years. That is 17th of February 2014. No, 2015. Up to 16th of February 2022. Exact.
Na sio kitu ulikuwa umepanga.
Hapana. Yani ilifanyika tu
kwa mapenzi ya Mungu.
Ndege tu napanda siku hii na nashuka exactly. Hata ikupita siku moja.
Wow.
Not even a single day.
That is how.
And it was not planned.
And then today 27. Unajua tulikuwa tumepanga na wewe kuja Sema na Spox.
Yes.
Na hii ikakuwa ndio leo.
Hii ikakuwa leo.
27th show on 7th.
27th show of 7th. Na tukupanga.
Sasa
hii 7 hii
iko na wacha tuachie hapo. Yangu ni 5. 5th government spokesman by the 5th president. Started my work on 5th of October. Tulikuja kusema maneno hapo ya new funding model hapo na the former CS Machogu. That was my first assignment. Now but before we get to the State Department issue. So what motivates you PS for you to have come this far? And how did you end up becoming a PS?
Let me begin by saying that first, I'm a very ambitious person. As a person, I really like good things.
Okay.
Good life.
Unapenda vitu nzuri?
Napenda vitu nzuri. As a person, I don't like mediocrity. The second thing, I like hanging around with people who are very smart.
Okay.
Associating with the right people.
Okay.
So, and also, I also work hard.
Okay.
Yes, I work very hard. Like, for example, you see the conference today here. It was my brainchild. All right, this was my original idea. And I felt like we must re-engineer this sector called education. So I talked to the CS, I requested him, I wrote letters to him, and he was gracious enough to accept that we work together towards this. And it's not been easy to put up this together because the Ministry of Education has their own way of doing things. They feel that I'm a disruptor. I disrupt their own comfort zones. And they don't tell me because I'm their boss, but I can see their faces that
the body language.
They are reluctant to accept disruption. But mine is disruptive innovation and creativity, and I like really moving.
So without that, actually, you cannot do much. So tell us now, PS, tell us about the State Department for Basic Education. What does it cover? What is its mandate? So
well, the State Department for Basic Education is a very interesting department. I say so because, you know, as I've said, I started my career as a teacher. Then I went to the university. And then I went to a tour of duty to Foreign Affairs as an ambassador. Later, I went to Ministry of Interior as PS for immigration, which is also another very exciting space. Right now, I'm back home.
Working with you on issues
to
of
where I am now back home, where I belong, in the State Department of Basic Education.
Yes.
That is where my background
But also even in
and I'm really very happy with this State Department because it is one of the most networked State Department than any other State Department in this country.
Okay.
More networked even than Ministry of Interior where I was.
What do you mean?
Than even State Department for Internal Security.
Why? What do you mean by that?
Because for every village, you have like 2 or 3 schools.
Yes.
For every one assistant chief, you have like 5 schools.
Okay.
In every so in terms of network, in terms of the people you work with, you really get to the grassroots. And what excites me so much about this department is meeting the children, those young souls, those innocent souls. They come, they embrace you, you spend time with them. It's a very, very exciting space. But so I'm really very, very happy, and I thank His Excellency the President for giving this opportunity to serve as PS State Department for Basic Education. It's an exciting opportunity. And it is not because that I am a professor, or it's not because that I am better than other people. It's just by God's grace. And by God's grace that I got an opportunity to serve. And I'm doing it in a very dedicated way.
Okay.
So that's why I'm here today, and I'm very proud about the achievements I have achieved so far in the State Department of Basic Education.
So let me ask you, PS, how many schools do we have in Kenya in total, the primary schools?
Well, we have 24,000 primary schools.
These are
Kenya.
both public and private?
Those are public.
24,000.
And we have 9,500 secondary schools, public. And we have another 18,000 private schools around the country. So in total, we have about 52,000.
So these 18,000, is it both primary and secondary?
No. These are both primary and secondary.
So 52,000.
Private, 18,000.
Wow.
Yes.
So 52,000 in the whole country. And how many kids are currently enrolled in primary school?
11 million kids.
That's so many.
11 million kids.
Wow.
Around the country are in basic education institutions.
Both primary and up to grade 9.
The numbers are growing. Yes, the numbers are growing. And
so 11 million, that would mean like that is 25% of Kenyan population.
Yes, exactly.
That's what you are. Those are the people who are under you.
Those are the people under me. Plus the parents also are under me.
Yes.
So you need to save 11 million children, plus every child has 2 parents, right? So 11 million times 2 is 22 plus 11 is 33. You can see the impact.
Lakini unaweza kasema hapo PS.
Yes.
Maybe there are 2-3 kids.
The only disadvantage I have is that mine not all of them have votes. Not all of them have votes. So they cannot vote for anybody.
Anyway, so now, what are the key achievements so far from this State Department since you took over, or even since 2022 when this?
Well, I want to say that. Let me just say key achievements overall, because since this government came to power in 2022, there are many things which have happened on matters of education. We start with the budget. When we came to power, budget for education was 490 billion. 490 billion. Right now, it is 702 billion. So we are looking at another 215 billion in education.
That's absolutely amazing.
And capitation right now is getting to school before schools open. I said I'm going to make capitation a central delivery in my stay at the State Department for Basic Education.
So nobody can say they are
since January, money was getting to school before it opened. This time again, the same. Next time, we also expect the same. And even going forward, there will be no delay in capitation.
And that means then no teacher can say they will, get other costs because there's delayed capitation.
Exactly.
It cannot be
an
excuse.
So that is number one. Number two is teachers. This government has been able to employ so many teachers, 100,000 to be precise.
Since 2022.
Than any other government before independence. When you look at Moi, President Moi, he used to employ only 500 per year. 24 years, 12,000.
Yes.
Mai Kibaki, 1,000 per year. 20,000. William Ruto in 3.5 years, 100,000. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. By the way, as we speak now, 35% of the teachers who are employed in Kenya now, who are employed by TSC, have been employed by this government. 35% of the teachers in Kenya's payroll right now have been employed by this government, this present government. Okay. You can see the impact. 35%. So when all the teachers come and you split them, close to 40% have been employed by this government. So it is really, really, really a huge impact, so to speak. The other thing is classrooms, infrastructure. There are classes around the country, 23,000. I went to a school here called Lenana, when the president was giving an example. Amazing. Within 1 year, there was no school. But within 1 year, there are 40 classrooms and 2,500 students in school. Wow. And there was no school in that slum. This is Lenana slum.
In Gado,
In Lenana slum in Gado. There was no school.
Area,
But within 1 year, a school has been built and 2,500 students. I went there. I was there about 2 months ago. Evidence. We are doing the labs. Textbooks are going to school. We have managed the most successful transition in the history of this country. 99% of the learners transition from junior to senior. So, I want to summarize by saying the state of education in Kenya is strong. All right. Of course, there are teething problems like any other sector. But from where I sit, we are doing so well on matters education, and we shall continue. And that is why we call this conversation of these stakeholders, because I ask the quality assurance officers to come, because the future of CBE is in quality assurance.
That's true.
And we must ensure that we provide quality so that we're able to get competence, we're able to get creativity, we're able to get innovation, we're able to bring out the best of the talent, and we are able to bring out the best competence in whatever field, whether it is STEM, whether it's arts, whether it's sports, whether it is social sciences. Competence is our main focus.
So it's not just quantity, it's also quality.
It's not only quality, yes. And producing somebody who can produce a solution. Not just producing somebody who is after shortcuts. We want the best person to do the job.
Very well. So what now? What about? Tell us about this. The movement from NEMIS to.
Well, as you are aware, NEMIS was introduced in 2015. It has served this country for almost 10 years. But NEMIS is a 2.0 system of EMIS. EMIS is an education management information system. You know, it has series. The first one was 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. The current system is 4.0. That is a scalable, interoperable, integratable. I mean, you can connect it to many other systems. But because of the way NEMIS was crafted and structured, it's not possible to scale up. That is why we have now brought in a new system called KEMIS, Kenya Education Management Information System. And it will be a one-stop solution for the entire education sector. It will connect all schools, all colleges, all universities, all parastatals, everything education. So will be in this system.
The president is very keen on digitization of education data.
Yes.
What are we doing about it?
And that is that's what I essentially I'm saying. KEMIS is at the heart of digitization.
Okay.
In the next 2 weeks, KEMIS will be live. And we shall be telling schools to input data of their learners. And we shall be verifying as they input it. And it should be seamless. On 15th, we're asking secondary schools to input the data. And by 29th of this month, in 2 weeks' time, primary schools will come in. And every school will be connected to KEMIS. Every university will be there. Every TVET will be there. If you understand anything about any student around the country, you get to KEMIS. And you can be able to get to their information and their data. Even Kenya National Examination Council will be in there. Even Higher Education Loans Boards will be there. Everybody else will be there. COOPs will be there. Everything you want education, you'll find it in the system.
So now, before we take a short break right now, I would want to, how do you deal with the issue? There were questions about ghost students and ghost schools and reputation, people saying it's not enough. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, on that matter, I want to say that I want to give you a small history about issue of verification. The Auditor General did a special audit to schools and capitation in the Ministry of Education and presented the document, or rather the audit report to Parliament. And Parliament directed us to verify the number of learners, the number of schools. Then we did a verification. And we discovered that there are 87,000 ghost students in secondary, 800,000 ghost students in primary.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Almost a million.
That's non-existent.
887,000 ghost students.
Yes, we discovered that. And the records are there.
So how much money were we losing out of?
We are losing a lot of money. We are losing a lot of money. In the first verification, we saved 1.2 billion. On the third term capitation of 20%, we saved 1.2 billion. And we have progressively continued saving. And we have said this verification will be continuous. We shall continue verifying and confirming the data so that we have accurate data on the number of learners.
So this can be...
And I want to continue to tell you, the minister took action against principals, 20 of them, who are suspected to be the ones inflating the figures. We took action against 34 sub-county directors of education, whose jurisdictions had these schools which had inflated numbers. And that is how serious it is. Okay.
Let's take a break and we shall come back to much more conversation. This is how the government is fighting corruption using technology and saving you, the taxpayer, in our very great resources. This is Sema na Spox, Bonga na Gava. Sema na Spox,
Bonga na Gava.
I keep it right here. Thank you. Welcome back to Sema na Spox.
Bonga na Gava.
Sema na Spox.
Bonga na Gava.
Tuko hapa tunabonga na PS mwenyewe, Ambassador Professor Julius Bitok, the number 7. The number 7, number yake vizuri sana. Now, PS, you were saying something about the issue of the way the KEMIS has helped us to save money.
Yes, I've said that where we are going, we are going to leverage on technology to ensure that we close all loopholes and have accurate data. Because as you are aware, Spox, one of the biggest challenges we have in this government and in this country is data, accurate data on everything. Even the data that was released by KNBS the other day, they wanted to release one for education, we told them no. Because the data is not accurate. They want to release very old data, very inaccurate data. So, KEMIS and technology in general is going to be a one-stop solution for data governance in education. Now, let me also say that one of the most critical issues in education, actually there are two issues. One is technology and the other one is equity in education. Those are the two most critical issues in the education sector. Technology, because technology will give us accuracy. We shall be able to have a view of the number of schools, the number of learners, the amount of money we are sending there all the time, the bursaries, the scholarships. It will give us a very clear view on the map of Kenya where our resources are going on matters education. Because remember, education is not only a government affair. We need to give also an opportunity to other stakeholders to feed into this, whether the money is coming from World Bank, whether it's money coming from donors, NGOs, whether it's coming from faith-based organizations. We want to have a global view. That is why this scheme is really central to the success of this State Department and Ministry at large.
Okay, wonderful. I think that's wonderful. Let's now turn to questions. Let's have the first question. Please tell us your name, where you come from, and you shoot this question straight to the PS. Go ahead, please, and be loud. Sauti tafadhali. Ongeza sauti, please. Go ahead. Is the mic working? Okay.
So my name is Moses Mushoka from University.
Sauti tafadhali kijana, tukusikii vizuri tafadhali. Okay, try again.
Or you can
Hello.
shout.
Okay, so
Yeah, go ahead.
my name is Moses Musyoka. I'm from the Kimathi University. I'm the president of the student organization. So my question goes to Professor Bitok, the PS Basic Education. And my question is about, so today His Excellency the President, Dr. William Ruto, said that the government is already in the process of constructing and has already constructed a number of classrooms and laboratories across Kenya. So my question is, which criteria is being used to identify the key areas which need more classes, that is the marginalized areas, and so how is the government knowing which place to do more classes and which one to give a certain number? So thank you.
Yes, PS.
Well, Moses, thank you very much for that question. And I want to say that we have a very clear laid down procedure of identifying. And to give the context to that question, right now in my office, I have a request of infrastructure of about 10 billion against a resource allocation of 2 billion. So clearly it is very competitive. But because we have data about all the schools and what they need, we prioritize based on the need, based on the availability of resources. So we have a very clear laid down procedure of how to arrive at what schools and what time. But our objective is to ensure that we build as many classrooms as possible. I've talked about 23,000, which are already done. I've talked about 1,600 labs. And for example, when we were doing the labs, the 1,600 labs, we decided to identify those schools which are new and they have no lab completely, so that we do 1,600. So we have a criteria for allocating resources. But the bottom line is the resources are not enough. We get almost 20% of what we need in the sector for infrastructure development. There are too many requests from members of parliament, from county education boards, from principals, from different people from different areas of the country who require. That is why sometimes you feel like you are not feeling it because the demand is too high. Some schools which were built long time ago, like 100 years ago, require some uplifting. Some schools which don't have facilities complete require also some facilities, new facilities, and so on. So we have a very clear laid down procedure to allocate which schools to start with and which ones to wait. Sometimes, because the resources are not enough, we decide to split. We have two competing projects. Like for example, a project of 20, the project requires 20 million, two projects 20 million, 20 million. We decide we are going to give them 10 this financial year, so that next financial year we can be able to give them the balance. Those are the things we consider. Equity, fairness, geographical distribution, region, access to education, and such other factors.
Wonderful. Let's come to question number 2 right away. Go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Maureen Seyan. I'm a student from Kajiado County, and I have a question for you, Professor Julius.
Yes, Ariane.
The recruitment of teachers has recently increased in the past years. It has been increasing. So what measures has the ministry taken to ensure there is equal or fair distribution of these teachers in the country?
Okay, the government has employed 100,000 teachers. And from our records, we have 453,000 teachers employed. We have 11 million students. So if you divide 11 million divided by 458, it is 24.05. Meaning for every one teacher, there are how many learners? 24 learners. Globally, the ratio should be 1 to 25 for primary.
So we're even doing better.
We're even doing better than the global standard. For secondary, it should be 1 to 35. But the biggest challenge we have here is not the number of teachers. It is the distribution of teachers. And it is the elephant in the room. Of course, we have shortage in some of the specialized areas like metalwork, electricity, aviation, these new areas, Chinese language, indigenous language. But there are not many schools which offer those courses. But the reality of the matter is, when the government did a survey in 2022, the shortage of teachers in this country was 116,000. The government has employed 100,000.
100,000, yeah.
By now, the shortage should only be 16,000 nationally. But we still hear of a big shortage that I think sometimes is not very, very accurate.
Accurate, yes.
So for me, once we do 16,000 teachers, we should never be talking about shortage of teachers in this country. Why? Because of the ratios. The ratio should speak for itself. Unless the configuration of how we are distributing teachers and expertise is the problem. In any case, we have reduced senior school into 2 classes. We have brought in junior school here. So I think there's something we can do to distribute and to ensure that teachers are sufficient. Because when you look at it more critically, the demand for teachers in Kenya is 40,000 per year. Every year, if we have 40,000 teachers, we should be good to go. We should be able to absorb those ones, 25,000 of them into government annually, and about 10,000 of them will go to other professions, and then another 5,000 goes to maybe private schools. 40,000 is the optimum that we need every year. But we have asked the universities not to overtrain, so that we can be able to deal with this problem of unemployment in the teaching profession. That is the conversation we're having.
Thank you. This is really, really wonderful. Now, let's come to our audiences online. What do they have to tell us? What questions are they giving us?
Good evening, Professor.
Kindly stand up. Yeah, so that we can see you. Yeah.
Good evening, Professor. Our viewers would like you to respond to 3 questions. The first, with the education budget increasing significantly over the last 3 years, how is the ministry ensuring that the additional funding translates into better learning outcomes in public schools? That is Oma Bernard from Kisumu on X. The second, STEM enrollment has now risen to over 52%. What specific initiatives is the ministry implementing to encourage more learners, especially girls, to pursue STEM-related courses? That is Faith Maritim from Kajiado County on Facebook. The last, Professor Bitok, digital learning is becoming increasingly important in education. What progress has been made in improving internet connectivity in public schools? That is Felix Mwangi from Taita Taveta on TikTok. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The 3 questions. First of all, on teachers. After increasing the number of teachers, obviously, the single most impactful resource for any learner is a teacher. So with the increased number of teachers, we expect the learning outcomes to increase. We expect more quality, because these are trained people, these are professionals. These are people who can handle situations. These are the people who have knowledge. and we expect the learning outcomes to be improved. Clearly, this country will never, with employment of 100,000 teachers, learning in this country, education in this country will never be the same again. That is huge impact. You can imagine 100,000 force who have been introduced into a system to be able to support learning. Learning outcomes, of course, will shoot up, will increase tremendously. Now, on this issue of girls, what are we doing to encourage girls to do STEM? I think, by and large, we are saying that, interestingly, in some counties in this country, girls are doing better than boys. Girls are doing better than boys. And unlike before, where there's a lot of stereotype about girls not focusing on sciences, I have visited schools where girls are very strong in sciences, mathematics, physics, chemistry. They are very, very good. But I want to say that of the 52% ratio of about 600,000 learners who have gone to senior school, who are doing STEM, the ratio is 49-48 for girls and boys. It's not significantly different. All learners are almost equal. They are almost very competitive. The difference is only 1% of the differences, and it can be either way. As at now, there are more boys interested in STEM by a difference of only 1%. So that is not really a major issue. Or rather, to put in other words, gender has no significance on whether one is going to do STEM, sports, or social sciences. All genders are almost equal in as far as doing STEM is concerned. The last question was about digital learning and KBC. And I want to say that KBC is going to be a game changer because KBC has three principal components. Number one, through KBC, the new system we're introducing, we're able to manage our data more effectively and more accurately. So we have a more structured data governance. We're able to know how many learners are in school today, how many have moved to a different school in the next term, and that kind of thing. Data management is central. The second issue is the information system. This will give us a feedback. Sitting in Jogo House, I should be able to monitor through our security center what is going on in our schools around the country. I should be able to get all that information summarized. How many students have reported, and I should be able to see that information, real data. That is the MIS part. In terms of management, I can make decisions real time on what is happening in a school in any part of this country, real time. Number three is digital learning. Through KBC, we are going to teach. We are going to deploy some of the content. We are going to deploy some of the textbooks through the system. We're going to say we'll be providing from time to time lessons. We can say today we have a mathematics class for grade 9. And somebody in a certain school can be able to teach through KBC network. And the government has now already rolled out infrastructure. Ministry of ICT is doing connectivity in all our schools. We are doing solarization, which we have connected to also connectivity. We are now deploying 25,000 laptops and smartboards in all our primary schools around the country. And those are the things which are going to aid and facilitate. And those laptops will have a software called KBC in them. So whenever it lands in the school, you know it's going to be used. You're going to use it to input data. You're going to use it to monitor what is happening in the school. And when you key in, the system is connected to the headquarters in Nairobi. Okay. And all the data will be like right now, starting last week, I've started constructing a data center, or not a data center aside, a security center in Nyao's first floor, where we shall be monitoring everything happening on matters education around the country.
Wow, this is really, really commendable. This is really commendable. Now, what are we doing about the issue of special schools and ensuring that they are well facilitated, because most of those learners are vulnerable?
Well, I want to say that we have mainstreamed SNE, special needs education, in our curriculum and in our systems. We have a fully fledged department called Directorate of Special Needs Education. Number two, we have also KISE, which is Kenya Institute of Special Education, which trains people who are able to... Right, in the current financial year, we have a World Bank project. We have 2 billion. We are building 10 new special education centers around the country. Okay. In every region, we are going to be building special education centers. So we are also on course to support learners with different difficulties in learning. So we are on course on this. And even Kenya National Examination Council has provisions also to support special needs education, because we don't want to leave anybody behind. Because disability is not inability. We want to give every learner an opportunity to get quality education in this country. And we are on course. And we are on course.
So, and I'm sure that also includes children who have dyslexia.
Exactly.
So what about the issue that some people are saying that there's a shortage of textbooks and also the issue of technical teachers?
I've already answered about teachers. I said there are new areas which have been introduced under competence-based education in grade 10, which we don't have teachers, but we have a plan.
Okay.
Yes. We're saying things like aviation. Aviation is a new area. Yeah. Things like electricity, things like metalwork, woodwork, Chinese language. We are now we have talked to the university.
Chinese people
even Chinese so
1.5 billion people. So you need
exactly.
Some, yeah.
So we need. You know, now is another. UN has already recognized Chinese as one of the international languages. Yeah. So we must train our people. And again, there are too many Chinese around who are offering.
They are our biggest trading partner.
And we want them also to get a chance. By the way, I was in China 2 weeks ago. It's a great country. Yes, I've been actually trained in the West. Yeah. Going there all the time. But there's also other opportunities in China.
That's true.
And I want to encourage our learners. They can also think.
They can also go east and see.
Yes, and get some opportunities.
Yes. Before you come to Africa.
Yes.
So now, finally, PS, you know, what is the way forward? What is your general view in terms of the next 1 year as we get towards general elections? You know, what are the key? What do we need to look forward to as you give your closing remarks?
Well, Spox, I want to say that looking ahead, this country is headed in the first world on matters education. Looking at the investment, looking at the infrastructure, looking at all facets, this country is on the right track to a prosperous country. And education, as we know, is an equalizer. When we sustain this momentum for the next 10 years, this country will never be the same again. I've given you an example of getting 100,000 teachers in class. Look at the impact. Getting 23,000 classrooms. If we are able to maintain this momentum for the next 10 years, I am confident that this country will never be the same again. We'll change this country completely. Finally, and as I conclude,
before finally, the area of innovation, where is the innovation?
I want to say that what matters innovation, you see, at the heart of competence-based education,
CBET,
is not CBET, CBE at the basic level. CBET is at the tertiary, at the TVET level. But at the core of competence-based education is capability, innovation, creativity, competence, talent. At the core. When you look at the learners we have in CBE now, they are very, very creative. They are very creative. They can create anything. And you'll be surprised. When you go to drama festivals, you see what happens. They create funny things. When you go to the symposiums and the affairs, you see what these learners can do. It's unimaginable.
Actually, we were with the president on Sunday at Jerry's. They even have systems. Like they're even creating MIS systems in high school.
Imagine.
Even some of them were doing some, they want to go to the, like a rocket.
Some others create helicopters. And you wonder, this is a grade 9 student thinking about, they have seen an helicopter, they want to create their own. And it can fly.
see, I'm a top.
And it can fly. And you get surprised that these guys are they are too intelligent.
And then tell us something about Uzalendo, you know, patriotism, because, you know, we are one nation. We don't want to, What are we doing about that?
Okay, I want
national
to say
anthem,
that,
national creed. Yeah, national loyalty.
I have written a circular to schools. We want schools to start singing the national anthem. We want to remove this thing of instrumentals because we need to build patriotism.
Yes.
But looking at the younger generation of Kenyans, they are very patriotic. They love their country. The only challenge with that generation, I think they have another way of looking at things, not like our generation. I think we are a bit more conservative. They are too dynamic, and they think freelance, thinking freelance. But in as far as the national values are concerned, we need to encourage our teachers around the country to continue teaching civics. The loyalty, the national anthem, so that we were able to produce a more. I want to tell you that it is very important to do that. Last but not least, the state of education in Kenya is strong, progressive, and focused to transforming this country into a first world. Singapore is real. Under education we are talking about.
Angalia kamera pale.
Thank you very much.
Sema nyumba yangu. Sema na Spox. Bonga na gava. And then mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo. Je wewe. Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo daima. Until next time, this has been great. Keep it right here on KBC and all our socials.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Well done.